Funny car fans, this one's for you. For the first time ever on the East Coast, Funny Car Chaos blasts through the gates of Maryland International Raceway. Friday night and Saturday, August 25th and 26th. 40 outlaw funny cars. Yes, 40 are pre-entered for this two-day festival of horsepower, which also features jet funny cars, nostalgia racing, our car show, and much more. Tickets and more info at GoRaceMIR.com. This is the race you've been waiting for. You know what to do. Be there.
Well, we've got a great show lined up for tonight. I'm Lee Kraft, the Monday Morning Racer. Along with me, the voice of chaos, David Rattan, here for Chaos Live. Guests will be Keith Zimmerer and also Ray Stringer, who certainly had an enchanted time in the land of enchantment there at Albuquerque Dragway. David?
It was outstanding out there in Albuquerque. I had never been to that drag strip before, and been a long time actually since I'd been to Albuquerque, but it way exceeded expectations. And and that's not because of low expectations. It's because that was one incredible drag race out there. Everything about it was just over the top. And we'll get into some of those details in a little bit. It was just really something special. But the first thing for me, riding out there, I grew up about less than an hour as the crow flies from the New Mexico border. So I was riding across that picturesque setting, and it feels like you're in a Hollywood Western. You expect to see a stagecoach go by every little bit, but it was, it's because you actually are. So many of those movies, a lot of the John Wayne movies, you talk about John Chisholm and all those kind of things, and that was actually that part of the country. I passed by the Billy the Kid Museum. Well, all of that stuff from, growing up and seeing the B Westerns and the good Westerns too, a lot of that was in eastern New Mexico and that beautiful picturesque scenery down there. So riding through that, as growing up not very far from there, my childhood was filled with, names like Santa Rosa and even Melrose, Tucumcari, Narravisa, Mora, Las Vegas, Tres Ritas, Taos Ski Valley, and a lot of those. So, man, it was just a nostalgic trip across there to get to Albuquerque. And but when we got there, and it was a great drag race, to be sure.
It certainly was. Now, I cannot be quite as nostalgic as you mentioning everything you did. I can certainly think about FIFO Goes West, though, and picturesque in picturing that. What an enchanting time it was, though, in Albuquerque. And what an interesting little facility. What a great little fan base, and what a turnout it was. What a show it was overall in Albuquerque. And congratulations to Chris, Tara Graves, everyone involved, and especially to the competitors. What had never been done, both in mile per hour and ET, was accomplished. And at least in ET, multiple times.
Yep, that's right. And, just going back, and I get a picture of, after a football game or after some kind of big sporting event, they have the press conference, and I can just imagine, Keith Zimmerer and Will Hanna and Shane Lawson and Ken Singleton being up there going, and Kirk Williams and Chris Williams being up there going, okay, any questions? Because when Kirk Williams came out and fired that shot, I mean, it took 3.94 seconds to erase any doubt if we were going to see 3-second runs. And then when that 200 came up on the board, it's like, oh, it is on. And, I counted them. And we were keeping up with it through the race 8 times. Track record was set, reset. We left there with the mile per hour and the elapsed time 383 and 200 miles an hour with a couple of great racers. But what about the crowd at Albuquerque? those are the most enthusiastic people. And we talk about enthusiastic crowds, places that we go, but Albuquerque plays second fiddle to no one. That was a great crowd to watch a drag race with, don't you think? They really were. They were into it on every run, and just from the standpoint of things that you get to see that are new. A lot of us have been around a lot of racetracks, but I had never experienced what I experienced at Albuquerque with the tower. The location of the tower is out about 100 feet. So, you're watching them come not only from the starting line, but they hit the 60 foot before they ever get to you. And so, they're at 100 miles an hour going by me at about 100 feet. And it was a different experience. It was an exhilarating experience. But you could see, and you're looking right down into them, and you can see the drivers, doing some driving some of the time. And Keith Zimmerer was definitely one of the guys doing some driving on that first round pairing that he had on that solo shot that almost got a little out of hand. But anyway, just the crowd was so enthusiastic, and I really enjoyed the interaction with them. And they just really did their home state, their hometown, their home track, and all the racers there just really did them proud. It was really outstanding.
Yes, not a lot of tracks do have that tower situation where it's placed in, such as Albuquerque. The only one I can think of in my experience would be Shadyside Dragway in North Carolina. They have a similar tower set up. But yeah, the fan base, I had heard and people had mentioned, Albuquerque might not be a motorsports town. Well, apparently they do want some chaos, because they certainly came out for what is, in all reality, after the so many seasons that Chaos has been around now, well over 5 years in its existence and continuing to grow and thrive, that it is in its own right a big show to venues that we go to, that often, where they are in their lifetime as a venue, they have been passed up or forgotten, or they've never had a shot. You could put it that way. And we're going in and we're making it have that big time show feel, with over 30, over 40 funny cars showing up and laying down terrific performances, while the brand still placates to someone that doesn't want to run a funny car at the most extreme levels. It is a wonderful mixture. It's an enchanting mixture, if we can continue to play off the land of enchantment. So Albuquerque must be a motorsports town, or at least they are a chaos town, and we are already planning going back to Albuquerque for next year on essentially the same weekend, the way the calendar falls. I mean, it'll be a couple of days ahead of time, technically. Yeah, I won't get to celebrate Chaos on my birthday next year. That's kind of sad. 3 years in a row.
Yeah, you what was it? You and Jade got a lot of love out there.
Yes,
with the shared birthday and the track records and all kinds of fireworks on your birthday celebration out there. And there was a little bit of suspense, because a lot of times the announcement will come out the next day. Hey, be here next year because we're coming back. But it was, it was a couple of days, and it was like, well, I don't know what the deal is, because it certainly had the feel of this was a great day, and this was a great place to come back to. And so when that news came out, it was maybe made just a little bit better by the suspense, but I don't really feel like there was any doubt that it was going to happen. Lee, when I first got there and made my way out to the racetrack, I came up, just following GPS because I've never been there before. And I come up there and I see all these police cars and all these cones and all this stuff to direct traffic. And I'm thinking, wow, they're really prepared for a big crowd, because we were talking about, we had Robert Costa on, and he was talking about all the preparations and how far the line would be backed up if you didn't have your tickets already purchased and that kind of thing. And so I'm thinking, man, they are really prepared for this. Well, there was what was that concert called? Allegedly Country or something like that. Anyway, it was a big concert there going on, and so it just happened to be the same intersection there. And after turning left, and I guess you turn right to go to the concert, I thought I had missed the turn. I just kept driving and driving out there and thinking, well, I guess it's still out here somewhere. But I did eventually get there, and man, what a great place. You can see, there's an old song about seeing miles and miles of Texas. You can see miles and miles of New Mexico from Albuquerque Dragway. I mean, it's got to be 200 miles that you can see off that high mesa up there.
Certainly a picturesque location, and looking forward to being back there in what is coming up in next year. It's going to be a spectacular show, and certainly different storylines. The storyline of, can that 3-second barrier be broke, not just shattered as it was, but just broke, was a dominating storyline. And maybe there also needs to be a charity fund for Shane Lawson, because nobody said anything about 200 miles per hour. Everything was 3 seconds, 3 seconds, 3 seconds. Nobody said anything about 200 miles per hour. So maybe someone does need to throw out some charity for that. But I'm looking forward to going into the next year. The storylines will be completely different. And we won't be talking about 3-second passes. We won't be talking about 200 miles per hour. That's done. That's over. Congratulations to Williams. Congratulations to Lawson. There will be completely different storylines going into that event. And I think one of the top storylines is for the competitor and for the fan and the people around Albuquerque. Don't miss it.
No, do not. And there was, you wonder, were there any racing fans in Albuquerque that missed it? Well, yeah, there probably were, because there's always something else going on, but we'll find a place to put you. Those the fans were in the stands. It was full, but we'll find a place for more fans, and we'll definitely have a show to see once again next year as we make the return trip to Albuquerque Dragway for the 61st anniversary celebration.
Certainly. It's going to be a good time. Well, David, we got Ray Stringer in the green room. Are you ready for the first guest of the evening?
Man, I am, and I'm probably not as ready as he is to get on here and continue the celebration. That's a very enthusiastic bunch from Alamogordo. But yeah, let's get this break in and come back with Ray Stringer right after this.
Ray Stringer, the man burning nitro in a Chevrolet from New Mexico. Welcome to Chaos Live. Congratulations once again on your win, and congratulations on when you show up, Funny Car Chaos dominance.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me again. Glad to be here.
We're happy to have you on. And, it's looking back at it, and it's like, so Ray Stringer comes into 2023. He enters 3 races so far. He's 9-0 in 9 eliminations rounds. And, do you know who the last person to do that was? And maybe the only person to ever do that in one season?
Ken Singleton. Let me guess, I would bet Singleton.
Yeah, Ken Singleton, 2018. We had 4 races that year. After that fall of 2017 event that you were at, as because Ray is one of our original Funny Car Chaos racers, and he's as enthusiastic today, maybe even more so today than he was back then. But Ray, I'll never forget meeting you at that first race. But then, so that was a hit. We go to 2018, and we have 4 events. The high-risk team enters 3 of them, and they go undefeated, 9-0. And so you have just replicated that incredible feat. So you've got an awful lot to be proud of with this season. How does it feel?
Oh, it feels great, of course. I mean, to win one of these in a season is hard enough. I mean, Chris and Tara have made this so big and so special. Every event you go to, just to win one is hard enough. And then we go and win Odessa, and man, we're riding on a cloud. It took us a week to come down off of that one and start getting ready for the next race and get ready for Albuquerque. And going into Albuquerque, I'm like, there's no way you can win another one. Let's go out. Let's have a good time. Good showing for all the friends and family. We knew there was a lot of people coming to support us, and just wanted to go and put on a good show and have a good time. And there we are again. All the guys on the team, consistent car, turned it around, run after run, and into another final. And of course, a couple of things, we had it fall our way in Albuquerque. We were in the A field for all the way up until about the third from the last pair, and we finally got bumped into the B field. And so, things kind of fell our way in Albuquerque to help us along, but it's great. It's so awesome, and it's great for the whole team. This isn't a me, this is an us, but there's a lot of people that support this, and they're having a good time doing it.
Oh, there is no doubt. There's no doubt about that. There's, and we've remarked about it just over and over again, that you have got one of the most enthusiastic teams, that I've ever seen in any form of motorsports or sports, period. And you've got a lot of family, you've got a lot of great friends that help to keep you guys rolling. And a person can hardly help but become a fan of the Blown-centless team just because of the enthusiasm that all those guys and gals bring. So, hats off to you guys for that.
Yeah, thank you. And of course, everybody knows everybody puts in a lot of time and a lot of effort. And so to go out and do this well, we're trying to enjoy it while we can, because you never know what the next race is going to bring, right? And so, they work hard. Several of them are local and come out and help me on the weekends with stuff so we can turn the car around and make this happen. And really appreciate everybody on the team doing it. And so, they're trying to enjoy it while we can, because you don't know what the next race will bring.
Well, it will definitely bring another series of challenges every time you show up at the racetrack. You know what? You've got yourself number 9 in the points. You're all the way up in the top 10. That's some rarefied air up there. And this is one of those things that people don't always think about until it's, the end of the season, but you don't have to drop any points. You keep them all.
Yeah. When that came out, the updated list came out from Albuquerque, you bet I was looking at it. We were all kind of happy about that, but we'd love to chase the series. It's really hard for all of us. We're out on that edge of the geographics of the tour, and it's just a little hard for us to do some of that. So that may be our last race, but never say never, right?
Well, I surely don't want to say never. There may be some people that, step up and want to see you guys make it to, see you make it to Mocan, or see you to make it to State Capitol, or both. And, that's one of the things that a lot of the teams are, have kind of figured out is it's not about the huge prize money, and it's not about the huge points fund, because, while they're good, they're not huge money. But if you have sponsors and backers and supporters that can help you get to those races, and so that whatever you win, you come home with, that's a great way to go. And you've got, the side of your car is just covered with great people that are helping you to get those places. Who are those great folks?
Oh, let's start with Chris Stinson Metal Fabrication, and Tony Lewis, and of course now TriPack has come on for this year, which that's something we're working on. And then of course Paul Fields and Two Brothers Landscaping come on for this event and helped out. And so everybody's helping out, and it all adds up and makes a huge difference at the end of the day. And that prize money does make a difference. It's made a huge difference for us this year. It may not be big money as you described it, but it definitely helps us get to the next event, covers parts, covers fuel. And then all those decals and sponsors on the side, they all help for sure. Yep.
Yeah, when you get the big check that's got the comma and the big number to the left of it, then that definitely helps keep you moving on down the road.
Yes,
for sure. when I think about racers in the world of funny cars that have a connection to New Mexico, it's not a real long list, but it's a pretty distinguished list. And of course, the one at the top of the list from way back, Dick Harrell, and my friend from just, I don't know, I guess it's about a mile and a half to his house from mine, is Grady Bryant. And I think doesn't Johnny Gray have some New Mexico connection? I know Tate Branch does, and yes. Kenny Bernstein is. They definitely claim Kenny over at Clovis, and but you start to add in these more recent funny car racers like Ray Stringer and Lyle Greenberg, and now you've got David Stringer adding his name to the list of funny car pilots with a New Mexico connection. I see a lot of pride in your home state. And it's certainly well deserved. After our trip to Albuquerque, man, I can just see completely what you guys talk about, and you're rightfully proud of your state and all that. How does it feel having your name listed amongst those legends of the sport?
Well, I don't know if I rate or should be mentioned with especially Dick Harrell. He was Mr. Chevrolet, right? No, it's really cool what we've had, and the support from friends and family and fans in New Mexico has definitely been big. And there were people that came to Albuquerque to support us that hadn't been to a drag race in over 20 years, and we appreciate it. Tried to make sure it had time for them and made time to visit with some of them. It's almost overwhelming sometimes, and I can't say thank you enough. And what you guys were talking about in the beginning of the show, that the fans came out in force. And they supported it, and it's awesome that we're coming back again next year, and bringing the show back to Albuquerque Dragway. David getting to drive for Wayne Reinhardt, that's been pretty awesome. And David qualified #1 in the C Field in Albuquerque, so that was really cool. And my dad was #1 in the injected nitro or in the injected All Stars deal too, so that was really neat. We had a great weekend in the family.
Oh yeah, you did. I called the Stringer name an awful lot of times, and and not just Ray this time, So that three generations at the same track and all doing well, qualifying well, coming away with the event wins, and just really showing up well. Hey, tell me about the Rachel Greenberg came up and was talking about her and Gianna LeFew doing the red and green things about the Albuquerque Chili's. What's the skinny on that?
Well, Gianna LeFew is of course, everybody knows Scott, my brother-in-law. He's the super enthusiastic driver on the team and does the clutch. His daughter started as our backup girl this year, our bug, and she's gotten into the outfits and done some really cool stuff. The red light up shoes and the red skirt she did in Odessa. It was really cool. And they were gonna try her and Rachel were gonna try and do a red chili and a green chili backup girls out on the track at this event. And of course, the underage thing, Gianna's 12, I believe. And so they couldn't have her out past the starting line to do backup duties this week. That was kind of the idea. And I think Rachel actually came up with that. We were really excited about it. Just things didn't quite pan out for this event, but I think it's something that will happen in the future. And we love having Gianna there. She's doing a good job, and she's learning and paying attention to things, and it's been awesome. And now more of Scott's family is coming, and his wife has started attending more. And again, family environment in our pits.
Well, it fits right in because Funny Car Chaos is intentionally family friendly. We want people to be able to bring their grandmother and bring their kiddos and experience a good time. And boy, did we ever! I think that there's going to be people next year for Albuquerque's date on the schedule. Maybe come a little early, maybe stay a little longer, and get some of that real red chili, green chili thing going on, because like we talked about, the New Mexican food, it's not like other places, and it's really good. I'll tell you, I had my daughter wound up she and her main man wound up coming to the races for the first time, and they came down from Denver, and we had breakfast at a sidewalk cafe at the area called Nob Hill. I couldn't tell you the name of the cafe, but I can tell you that the food was really good, and it was that it was that New Mexican food type flair to it. So I think a lot of people are probably going to do a little bit of that. It'd be great for the tourism business in Albuquerque. Hey, what's the mission? What's the dream? What's the vision? You know, you guys you do an awful lot to get to several races, and you make good showings every time you go. And you know, how far can you take this Nitro Chevy deal?
Oh, I think right now we'll continue to do what we're doing, and as I tell everybody, stay in my lane, right? Don't try to go outside of what I can afford to do or can handle doing. I know all the guys on the team, and my wife Michelle, we'd love to make more chaos events. And as things progressed, I mean, obviously we're having a great year. Last year was a little rough, and even then we felt like we could go out and run more events if we could just. It's more about time off and work commitments and stuff like that. But as far as, you know, plans ahead, just keep doing what we're doing and have a good time with it. We've gotten invited to go to Denver for a match race coming up, and that's a huge honor to me to even get invited. So we're planning for that, and just keep doing what we're doing. Have fun with it, and maybe it'll progress into more things.
Well, that is definitely rule one: is to have fun, and I know people have fun when they come and they see you race, and you know, we talked about Dick Harrell, Mr. Chevrolet, and how, you know, those bow tie fans, you know, there's not a whole lot of Nitro Chevys out there anymore in anything, and so, you know, there's especially in nostalgic racing, but you know, you've got a rabid fan base, and I think you can always, you know, count on that, especially with you going out and making such a great showing, and do you get a lot of interaction from fans in addition? I know you do at the racetrack, but as far as your social media program and other things like that, do you finding people that are discovering Blown-centless and reaching out to you guys?
Absolutely, and of course, winning helps that, right? Yeah, this year's been huge, and again, you know, when we left Dallas, we got a lot of response, and then after Odessa, like I said, we were on a cloud for a week, and the social responses were awesome. Michelle can tell you about shirt sales. Her and Tracy and my mom, the shirt sales have been awesome this year, of course, and that gives you another insight into how things are going and how far they're shipping them to different people around the country. And so, yeah, it's helped, and it's really cool. Again, it's almost overwhelming. All you can say is thank you, because we really appreciate the support.
Yeah, we get the comments on our social media on all things chaos, and you know, people talking about coming from, you know, and I met, you know, meeting people at Eddyville, and there's going to be people at Maryland that are coming from Europe to come see the races, and it's, you know, and it's great. And I haven't met anybody yet from Australia or New Zealand, but I know we got fans down there, and so it's just a matter of time. But man, this is turning into something that is really special for a lot of people. And one of the reasons that it is so special is because of what you and your team do. And there's so many other teams that are just like that seriously have the fans in mind. And man, this kind of enthusiasm and excitement, you know, you just want to bottle it and take it home with you. But you know what? You just have to get to another one.
Yeah. When we were in Dallas, we met somebody. I think they were there from Canada, and they said they came down just for the race. Yeah, and that's really impressive. And Lee mentioned it in the opening of the show, like, why has it gotten this? What has done this? Or what's made it so special? And that, of course, Chris and Tara working so hard to make a consistent program, and the racers were consistently having big fields, and the racers have come out and supported it. And because of that, the fans know that when Funny Car Chaos comes to town, they're going to get a good show. There's going to be a field of cars, and it's going to be good drag racing. And that's why every event, no matter where it is in the country, when you win a chaos event, it's special. They've made it a big deal, and we appreciate it. It's been a great time.
It really has. And Chris made note after the event, you know, no oil downs, no delays. The only delays were because of those little bitty brief periods of liquid sunshine that we had, both days. But I mean, it didn't take any time at all. That was one thing about that dry heat out there, is it didn't take long to dry the racetrack and get back to business, did it?
No, and I don't think anybody minded those little brief periods of rain, because it cooled it right off and made for a great evening on Saturday night. So I think everybody kind of enjoyed that. Yeah.
Well, man, we really appreciate you once again coming onto the show and sharing that patented enthusiasm that you always bring. And we're celebrating with you on the 3 wins and 3 races, 9-0 in 2023. And I don't know if we'll see you again, but I can surely speak for a lot of people when I say we really hope so. And so thank you very much, Ray, for everything and for being a part of it tonight.
Thanks for having us again. And again, thanks to everybody at CHAOS for making this happen. We're having a great time. Thank you.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, there he is, Ray Stringer, bringing you everything from the Blown-centless World Headquarters out there in Alamogordo, New Mexico. Always a trip to talk to him and have he's always got a smile and he's always enthusiastic. From the very first time I met him, that's the way he's been. That actually is how Ray Stringer is. And we celebrate with them. So we got another guest coming up, as we will have the penny pincher driver and owner, Keith Zimmerer, is coming up on our next segment. That'll be right after this word.
Taylor Motorsports Products is your first stop for quality safety equipment for your car or your driver. All of our safety equipment products are made in our facility in Albany, Oregon. From custom fit fire suits to racing seat belts, supercharger restraints, engine diapers, transmission blankets, and many other must-have items. Our racing history runs deep. We are racers building the finest safety equipment for racers. And we're a proud supporter of the CHAOS.
And we're back after a great segment with Ray Stringer and a word there from Wolf Pumps. We've got Keith Zimmerer coming up. I guess we do. We were talking with him earlier, and they were having a big storm up in Gainesville, Texas, and I'm just about a half an hour south of that, and it's sunshiny here and hot. But so I hope we've still got Keith in the green room.
We do. Keith did drop out. We got him. We're going to bring him on now.
Hey, guys.
Keith, welcome to the show, man.
How are y'all?
Man, doing really, really great. Did you get a big storm, or did it quickly come and go?
It was actually about 30 minutes of pretty good rain here, which we desperately needed. I had to move out of the shop and come in the house so I could actually hear you. So hopefully my signal doesn't drop out on me.
Well, we hope so too. Hey, thanks for taking time tonight. I know you've got a lot of stuff going on, and talk about a lot of stuff going on. That Albuquerque event for you guys was really outstanding.
Yeah, we did pretty good. We came just short of having a really, really good weekend, but congrats to Kurt on stepping up there and going right down the track on the first pass. It's kind of hard to complain when somebody goes right up there and goes right down the track. So he deserved it. But yeah, it was a good weekend. We really executed exactly like we wanted to. And, we got down the track 3 out of 5 times, and a couple passes there. It kind of had a mind of its own and went to the right, but we got that figured out. And fortunately we didn't cross the center line in E1. Barely hung on there, but E2 in the final, 3-4, 3-3 really worked out our way. So good weekend.
Yeah, the driver earned his keep on that first round, as you were definitely not going to get lane choice, but you kept it on your side and were able to advance and see another round.
Yeah, it was really close. I got to the top end and I was like asking everybody, did I cross? Did I cross? And then Jeff rolls up right after me, and I had no idea what Jeff did, but I asked Jeff if I crossed, and he's like, man, I don't know. Took about 10 minutes for the crew to finally get down there and tell me, but I knew it was going to be close. Just glad I didn't cross. And of course, I had no idea that Mary was having some issues, and I didn't know she didn't leave the line. You can't see it backwards, so got really close to the center line and finally got a little under control and hit the throttle again, and it went a 420 something. But just glad we didn't cross and got to keep going.
Yep. Well, so you guys getting close to that top 10 now. For all your fans and the growing number of fans that are, very interested in what the penny pincher team is going to do, are you guys are on the schedule for the remaining 2 points races, right?
Yep, we'll be at Mocan to finish the Kearney race in qualifying, and then obviously we'll run the Mocan race, and then we'll be at Baton Rouge. So should be a fun remaining 3 races, and Mocan is always fun. I love running there with the altered. It's always packed, but I think after seeing Albuquerque, they could probably give Mocan a run for the money and the amount of fans that turn out. But Mocan will be fun, and I heard Baton Rouge packs a place. I don't know that I've ever been to Baton Rouge, so that should be fun too.
Oh, you're in for another treat when we get down to State Capitol Raceway, because they are. You talk about another group of enthusiastic people, and yesterday was Keith. Here's something. I don't know if you like Cajun food, but they've got a chef down there in their concession stand. So it's not just burgers and fries and nachos and stuff like that. Last year I had blackened catfish and gumbo.
Yeah,
and it was excellent.
Yeah, no, I definitely like Cajun food. I like the crawfish au touffé is my favorite. So you never know. Maybe they'll have it in the concession stands. If they don't, maybe I can bum a plate from somebody. But we'll see. Well,
I tell you, Chef Dwayne, a lot of times he'll be listening, and he might just reach out to you and say, "You tell me what you want." That's what he did with me last year, and it was exciting. But those fans down there, you're right about Mocan fans. They are great, and since you haven't experienced the State Capitol Raceway fans, you are definitely in for a treat. So, well, you guys wound up in the semifinal in a great pairing right there. A lot of people were looking to Lyle Greenberg, as we talked with him about the conditions in Albuquerque and how challenging it has been for 60 years to get under 4 seconds and 200 miles an hour. And but man, he put up a really nice run against you in the semifinal. It just wasn't as good as what you put up, as I believe at that point you had took the track record yet again.
Yeah, I knew Lyle hadn't run a 3-second pass up to that point at Albuquerque, but we knew that he certainly could. And it didn't shock me that he ran a 395 at all. So I expected him to run good, and it was good for him to run his first 3-second pass there. But yeah, fortunately for us, we had the 84, and it was enough to get the win.
Well, going into the race, you talk about increasing the blower speed to get more engine air into the engine and that kind of thing. Did you and Will, did you kind of find it? Obviously you had wonderful results. Were there changes that you made to make that happen up in the altitude that you will change going forward, or did it just happen to what you normally do just happen to work?
Well, we made changes. Surprisingly, we didn't change as much as what most people think we did, but it was really mostly just jetting in the engine and a converter change. That's really all it was, and then some wizardry with Will on the computer, and the results showed for themselves.
Yeah, they did. Well, you guys are in your inaugural season. You got that first win under your belt in Funny Car Chaos competition. And, you've experienced this before, you racing in SHRA, racing in Outlaw Fuel Altereds, and making those progressive jumps in performance and the confidence that comes with it. Tell us about this first year for you, experiencing that in this new car.
Yeah, well, again, it really feels almost very, very similar to what the Altered was. I mean, kind of like what I said when you interviewed me before the season started. I mean, we laid out the plan, and now we're just executing. And everybody on the team really has an integral part in what we do, and it takes every one of us to be successful. Probably the biggest thing that I'm getting used to is just dealing with that body. The Altered sure was nice. You didn't really have to mess with the body, but now you gotta take the body off and you gotta put it somewhere, and that probably honestly is the biggest thing. And I guess if that's the biggest thing we got to deal with, it's really not that bad. Other than the couple issues we had at the beginning of the year with the issue with the coil on plug system that we ended up switching away from, and then the blower issue that we found, it really has gone pretty much according to plan. So yeah, I can't complain. Our goal is to show up and be competitive at the last 3 races, and our intention is to win. We want to have fun, but we're certainly there to win, and that's what I hope happens in the next 3 races.
Well, one thing being out early has done for you is you don't have any points to drop. You've already got your drops out of the way, so everything that you add to this 148 points that you've got, your opportunity to finish in the top 10, maybe top 5, I don't know, but it's a long haul because you've got some tough competitors that are going to be in that other lane every time you go down the racetrack. But you guys have got a plan, a methodical method of operation, and attending these races and racking up those points. I know you're probably excited to see just where it's going to fall.
Oh, yeah. I mean, realistically, I think top 5. I haven't done the math. I usually don't get into that, but I think top 5 is probably not realistic. But certainly top 10, that should be achievable, and I think that's a pretty realistic goal. Well,
great. Well, once again, we appreciate you being with us. We want to say thanks and congratulations to you and Will and all the team out there. You guys represented so well, and talking about those funny cars, those funny car bodies, it's a little more trouble, but man, do the fans love them. And you guys have certainly got one that folks can't take their eye off of once they get to the track. They really want to check out that the color and that the style on that Mustang body. So you guys are doing well.
Yep, I appreciate it. Yeah, I got lucky. It's got a really nice paint job on it, and I said I'm just going to leave it alone because it's a good-looking body, and yeah, all worked out. Get a lot of compliments on it.
Absolutely. Well, Keith, man, we glad to hear that you guys got some rain. I hope you'll send it down our way because we can certainly use some all over Texas, to be real candid, and as you know. But anything you want to add before we let you go tonight?
Well, just thanks to everybody that makes it happen. I know Chris and Tara put a lot of work into it. I know you and Lee do as well, and there's many other people. And thank you to all the folks that sponsor it. Alkydigger, Rodak's Custom, Spell Paving, Wool Pumps. There's a long list, but appreciate it to every one of them. You mentioned it when you're talking with Ray about the money, and it pays more than most, and it really is appreciated because it really does help us make it race to race. So just appreciate everything all those folks do.
Absolutely. Well, fantastic. Thank you again for tuning in here tonight, and we I guess next time we're going to see you is MoKan Labor Day weekend.
That's right? It. Q1/E1 in MoKan.
Man, that's going to be some big points when you go down the racetrack the first time at MoKan because you got Kearney added on top of MoKan. So It'll be good. All right, man. Well, blessings to you, and we will see you at MoKan. You have a great week.
All right. Appreciate it. See y'all.
All right. Take care. All right, ladies and gentlemen, your winner from the Rodak Custom Coffee A Field out at Albuquerque Dragway leaves there with the track record, and that is 3.863 seconds. In case you want to know the exact number, and that when you leave with a track record, you've got your name in the history books for a while anyway. And as long as it took to reset all that first track record, it didn't take long to rewrite it for the 7th and 8th time. So we anticipate a great season conclusion. And when we get back out to Albuquerque, we'll see what else we can do, what other kind of damage we can do to the record book out there. But it was great. All right, we'll be back to wrap up tonight's program right after these words from some of the great people that helped bring you Funny Car Chaos and Chaos Live.
Yes, David, congratulations to both the winners.
And it looks like we are back. Yes. There you go. You were spinning there on me, so I went ahead and started good, there, man. Lee.
I've been spinning all night. Don't worry.
Yeah. Well, good interviews with a couple of great guys there, and appreciated them. Hey, Will, and send a shout out to, we talked about this last time as to how many racers have actually run in a Funny Car Chaos event. There were 4 brand new ones at Albuquerque. And so we want to say thanks and welcome to Dave Benjamin, Darren Hamby, Brent Jones, and Sheldon Lofgren, as they came and represented themselves extremely well. As Sheldon Lofgren, among other things, brings his turbo funny car out. And there's, first of all, not very many of those. And he just went ahead and became the quickest turbo funny car ever at that event. So, what rather the auspicious debut for Sheldon Lofgren, and Brent Jones put the Lawless car into the semifinal. They had a great run. Darren Hamby and Dave Benjamin both qualified and did well. And so we want to welcome them to the Chaos family. I've done the numbers. Now there have been 180 funny cars that have run at a Funny Car Chaos event. And we're about to go and blow that completely up, because with 40 cars on the roster at Maryland International Raceway for our East Coast debut coming up in a couple of weeks, of those 40 cars, I think 6, maybe 7 have raced with us before. Might be a little bit more than that, but at least 30 cars will be brand new to Funny Car Chaos. So we're going to, obliterate that 200 mark. We talk about the track records and ETs and mile per hour, the number of racers, looking at that 200 magic number, it's going to be, shot out of the water in a hurry just as soon as they open the gate there at Maryland International Raceway. I'm really looking forward to that event. Have you been there? Have you been to Budds Creek there, Lee?
I have not been to Maryland International Raceway. It will be a new stop for me as well, but it is a stop that is a world-class facility. They are accustomed to big events, and for Chaos to be on the annual card, because remember, this is not just a one-off event. It's already a contractual agreement. This is a 5-year deal. We're going there more often, and it is very cool to see the Chaos brand with Maryland International Raceway, because if you're racing there, that means you're doing something right for sure. And it just is another stamp of approval on what Chris, Tara, everyone is doing. And the East Coast Funny Car Racer, which there are many, they have been hungry for this very thing. And I know in the comment section, I was following some East Coast people making mention that, well, we're not going to see a lot of Chaos regulars. And that's true. And it's not because of it being a non-points paying event. Yes, it is exhibition. It's mainly just because of, 1, distance, and 2, you have Mocan right after it. And that would be a very tough back and forth haul, especially now if you're chasing points, Mocan being that much more important because it's effectively 2 races in one. But what we will see at Maryland International Raceway will be spectacular.
It will definitely be that, and not only are there 40 funny cars, but the altered show, the altereds and the slingshots and everything. I've been seeing the Naves post about that, and the burnouts for Bunny and more. And those fields are just huge. It's absolutely crazy how many awesome hot rods are going to be there, and we're just scratching the surface of all the racing action that is going to be at Maryland International Raceway for that particular weekend. So, I don't know what anybody else would possibly be wanting to do that particular weekend except be there, and because it will really, really be a great race. And what a terrific way to get things off for Funny Car Chaos on our first ever trip to the East Coast. Like you said, it's been greatly anticipated. A lot of folks have asked over the years, when are you coming east? Just like they ask, when are you coming west? And it's a process. This is the 7th year there's been one, but after this one, that will give our racers the opportunity to plan a little bit more. And of course, it's always going to be back to back as long as it's the weekend before Labor Day, because Labor Day is the Mocan race, and so it's a back to back deal. However, there's a lot of people that there's a lot of racers that like to add those tracks to their list of places that they have raced, and to have the ability to race at such a first-class facility as Maryland International Raceway, that's going to be appealing to an awful lot of the racers. And so funding becomes available, the time off scheduled in advance, that becomes something that will allow more people to take full advantage of the opportunity to race over there in Maryland. So, and I'm looking forward to it. Can hardly wait for us to get there. I've got my travel plans made, and it's a long haul over there because I'm not taking the big silver bird. I'm actually going to be a road warrior once again, but very much looking forward to it. Might even see some old friends that live up along Chesapeake Bay. So could be a great time in addition to the races. But the races are going to be incredible.
That they are. It'll be the closest chaos race I've ever gone to, period. And it's still far. No, it is going to be a spectacular time for sure. And I know we work in the series, but the fact is, whether you work in the series or not, the future for Funny Car Chaos and Nitro Chaos and all the other chaoses that Chris has bought the domain name rights for, they're bright in whatever might be coming in the future. So, yes, East Coast, go enjoy Maryland International Raceway and keep on coming to Maryland International Raceway for the years to come, and you never know what you just might get. Maybe more chaos.
That is true. Hey, we got the announcement made today about Nitro Chaos as far as the 2024 season and beyond, with front motor cars only, and a lot of commentary on that, primarily positive commentary on that. But got one more race to close out that season and crown the first ever Nitro Chaos champion down at Pine Valley Raceway, right after the weekend of State Capitol Raceway, where we close out Funny Car Chaos. So, man, September is huge in the world of chaos. Two races in one plus the finals. So basically 3 races in 2 weekends in Funny Car Chaos, and in the Nitro Chaos championship finals. Ought to be good. It's going to be a great way to close out the season, and not racing in October in 2023, which is new, fairly new, because we've mostly raced in October most of the years that we have been doing this, and we're finishing on a high note after an extremely good season.
For sure. And our first guest on tonight, Ray Stringer. Ray, come on, man. Find that funding. Figure it out. Do the finals in Baton Rouge. And then I think he said in the interview he's running 92%. That's well above 80%. Just ride on to Lufkin. It's on the way back to New Mexico. Drop the car off. Run in your first Nitro Chaos as well. That would be cool to see. And look, I know Chris has mentioned to me what we can expect at Lufkin. Yeah, it's going to be a show, even in the competition. Hey, remember down there at Baton Rouge, we're going to see Scott Palmer and the Nitro Pro Mods once again. And, I mean, maybe the Ferrises, maybe they're going to bring out that Nitro Pro Mod again in Lufkin. You never know. And with that announcement being made, again, I agree. It was positive. I've seen a lot of positive comments. I see that mostly people get it. And I'm glad to see that you can clearly see in the comments that those that are in the modern rear engine nitro injected dragsters, they have commented and they're like, we get it. And for the most part, it's very positive. But that does open up still a unique series with the rise of these Nitro Pro Mods all of a sudden, well beyond just Scott Palmer, such as the Warwagon Group and Fangman, I believe is his last name. He had his Nitro Pro Mod up there at Eddyville for Chaos in the Cornfield, that double. So we could see a home for Alters, funny cars, front engine dragsters, and Nitro Pro Mods in Nitro Chaos. And it certainly would still be a unique and worthwhile show.
Well, and one of the things in the press release that I found very interesting and I find extremely appealing, because I do like the modern injected nitro dragsters, is, there's a lot of them out there that run other places that could also run in Nitro Chaos if there was an Outlaw A fuel or an Outlaw Nitro category in Nitro Chaos. That was listed as one of the things that could derive from this, because I mean, in talking with Cliff and Todd with the Bull and in talking with the Randy Meyer crew, they like what we're doing. They're having fun, and but for the opportunity to race those in a different format and a little bit more of an outlaw format, there's certainly plenty of injected nitro dragsters that could make up an 8-car field at any one of these races. So having that window, if not the door, left open for that to be its own class at a Nitro Chaos event, I find that rather intriguing. Who knows if it will develop, and but if it did, how extremely cool would that be to make it an addition? Because it is some good racing.
I agree. It is great racing. They are phenomenal cars, and you have people bringing a whole lot to the table with their background and their place in the sport elsewhere. So it's very simple. Someone step up and create that other field. Bring the funding. Be a part of the Chaos brand that is growing, that is thriving, that is going somewhere because it's already gone somewhere. Step up and be a part of the program. Chris has been clear. He intends for there to be a C field in Nitro Chaos. Well, maybe there's funding for that particular side, and it's all A fuel dragsters of the modern rendition, and that functions as a C field. I don't know. Someone step up and do it. That is what it is going to take. Either way, Nitro Chaos in 2024 is going to look cool, but yes, we still got that one last race, and I think there might be some extra motivation for someone like Megan Meyer and Todd Bruce to be the first and then the last at the same time Nitro Chaos champion in a fuel dragster.
Yep, there's only one first and there's only one last, and It's just like Ray Moats and R.C. Williams. They are still the Top Gas world champion from 1971 because they were the last ones that there ever was. So anyway, something to think. Good point there, Lee. Excellent point. Well, man, I have enjoyed spending the time with you and with our fans out there in Chaos Nation. What a kick to have these two great drivers on celebrating their victory from Albuquerque Dragway and celebrating another experience with another new track that is going to become a regular on the Chaos schedule. I can't think of a better place to add than that one. And as we head out, you've got the top 7 in points. Purchase number 1, Kirk Williams 2, Alex Barker 3rd, Jordan Ballou 4th, Jeff Cameron 5th, Shane Lawson 6th, and Casey Giesland 7th. Those 7 racers, they've been to all the races, so they've got a drop that's going to come up between now and the end of the year. Wayne Hoffman, number 8, Ray Stringer 9, Tony Arcuri 10, Hot Rod Herbie number 11. They get to keep all their points, so it's going to make some people with getting their pencils out and getting them really sharp, trying to play through multiple scenarios as to how this year is going to come out, because paying 10 places this year for the first time ever, there's some folks that want to get themselves into that top 10. So, Lee, we're looking at a great close to a fantastic season.
Absolutely correct. People want to stand on stage at that banquet, if there was a stage. I don't know. I wasn't there. I guess it was. So I don't know.
It's going to be so much fun.
Yes, it's going to be so much fun. It's going to be so much fun. Races, banquet, all of it. Onward into the future.
Yeah.
Of chaos.
Mm-hmm. Hey, man. Thanks, Lee. And thanks, fans, for tuning in. We're going to call this a wrap, and we will look forward to seeing you at the Chaos and on our next Chaos Live, whichever's first, probably the next Chaos Live, but we'll see you at Maryland, and can't wait to meet you there. Good night, everybody.
Funny Car fans, this one's for you. For the first time ever on the East Coast, Funny Car Chaos. Blast through the gates of Maryland International Raceway. Friday night and Saturday, August 25th and 26th. 40 outlaw funny cars. Yes, 40 are pre-entered for this 2-day festival of horsepower, which also features jet funny cars, nostalgia racing, our car show, and much more. Tickets and more info at GoRaceMIR.com. This is the race you've been waiting for. You know what to do.